Hey everyone, how's it going? And today, we continue our Halloween with another Batman Elseworld. Yeah, by the way, this is in a collection of Batman Elseworlds. Whatever, it's called Batman Masque.
Batman Masque is a story where we have Batman encounter the Phantom of the Opera, or at least a Phantom.
Now, to be honest, this felt like a match made in heaven. Why? Well, I'll let my friend know when to tell you.
Think of me fondly when we said good. Oh, hey Bizarro. So what you doing here?
The review?
Wait, that was today?
Yep.
Well, you could have given me the heads up here.
Sorry, I've been on a tight schedule. But, hey, can you give some, information regarding the Phantom of the Opera?
Intriguing. Sure. Why not? The character Eric, or as we like to prefer to call him, the Phantom, was a character from Gaston Leroux's Phantom of the Opera. When Eric was born, he was born very ugly, to the point where his mother didn't love him, and his father, he never met him. But when Eric was growing up, he ran away from home, where he learned magic, architecture, combat training, and assassination. But his biggest passion of all was music. So when Eric decides to live under the Paris Opera House, he discovers a young musician named Christine Daae. Now when Eric decides to talk to her, he actually, Christine, in an illusion that she believes the Phantom Opera ghost was in fact the ghost of her father, or the angel of music as they call. Since when Christine's father died, he actually said, an angel of music will come for you. And Christine believed that. And Eric decides, hello Christine, I'm here to teach you music because I so happen to love your beautiful voice. So for many years, Eric has been teaching Christine all that she can to be a pure opera singer. And during this teaching, Eric developed a little crush on her. And by crush, I mean a really big obsession over her. But it gets complicated when Christine gets reunited with her childhood friend Raoul. And Eric apparently really didn't like that. Not at all. Now, after a few hangings, drownings, and a giant chandelier falling, Eric decides to kidnap Christine. Now, Raoul decides to rescue Christine along with the Persian, or as many fans of the Phantom are, Daruga. Now, Daruga's history with the Phantom is very complicated because seeing the point that he rescued the Phantom Opera ghost, and they both have some sort of complicated friendship in a way. So anyway, now Eric has put Raoul and Daruga into a giant trap. And Eric decides to make Christine choose him or Eric. Choose him or Raoul dies. And Christine was just upset, but she decides to actually come up to him and give him one pity kiss and said, oh, poor thing. And the Phantom decides to cry because it's sort of like the Grinch way, where his heart actually grows 3 times big as he realized that Christine gave him love. Not in a romantic sense, but in a very compassionate way. Because he never receives that kind of thing from anybody. And Eric decides to do something in return for her. He lets Raoul go along with Daruga, tells them both to leave, and the Phantom disappears. Now, there's an epilogue where he actually is dying and requests Christine to bury him in this kind of way, but the story of Eric actually had an impact towards pop culture, as given by Eric is compared to the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, or many tragic figures in literature. So no wonder Eric proves a significant point to many animation adaptations, movies, and not to mention the most notable of all, the Phantom of the Opera, the musical.
Thanks.
Cool. Do you think I might stick around for a bit?
I'll see why not.
Remember, warning, spoilers, and not for kids. We see this world's Batman be told by Gordon that an escaped convict is running around the city. Batman tracks him down, leading to the fight at a local opera house, where we meet our leading lady, Gloria Avian, a young ballerina, and Harvey Dent, who, unlike most incarnations, is not a lawyer, but instead a famous stage performer and currently performing Edgar Allan Poe's The Masque of the Red Death.
Wait, that's supposed to be the Red Death costume. Again, that's supposed to be the Red Death costume. Oh, where do I begin? 1, why isn't it red? 2, why is it purple? And 3, if they were going to go for that way, why can't they just make the half red and the other black? Or just make one half purple and one half red? It wouldn't make sense since that is Harvey Dent's costume. One half colored, one half suit, as to represent both man and the hideous mutation that's on his face. It wouldn't make sense.
The fight leads to a stage and an accident that sets Harvey's costume on fire.
I'm sure he's fine.
Not long after the tragedy, Laura is met by her late father's childhood friend, Bruce Wayne.
Wait. Bruce Wayne is the childhood friend of Laura's father?
Yeah. Her father's childhood friend.
Wouldn't Batman be, I don't know, really old as her father's age? Wouldn't it make sense if, I don't know, if Laura's father was a friend of the Wayne family? That would definitely make sense, and it would have a deeper connection between Bruce and Laura, since if they're friends with their family, they would be childhood friends too.
After some time, Bruce and Laura seem to hit it off pretty well, to the point where he even tries to convince the opera owners to give her a leading role for their next show, instead of a ballerina by the name of Juliana. But they refuse, only to have one of them be killed by a mysterious figure in the shadows. This figure is revealed to be Harvey, who has now taken the guise as the Phantom and begins training Laura to be a better dancer. And literally a second after he leaves, Batman shows up and reveals that he's been watching her, and Laura seems to be pretty cool with that.
How much want to bet Laura sees Edward and Bella as relationship goals?
Then, after saving her from some muggers, Batman takes her to the Batcave, and she learns the truth that he is Bruce Wayne and his origin, which is pretty much the same. Their love seems to grow strong, and the Phantom becomes more jealous. How does this work out? Will Bruce and Laura end up together, or will the Phantom tear them apart? You'll have to read to find out, though, not gonna lie, this story, though not awful, really feels like it wasted an amazing concept. The story was written and drawn by comic book veteran Mike Grell, who most will know him for working on the miniseries Green Arrow, Longbow Hunter, and the Warlord series. While those books are well celebrated, I can say this is. Even some of the more die-hard Batman fans aren't aware of its existence. And it's mostly because it really doesn't have much going on for it besides the concept of combining the Caped Crusader with Leroy's characters. It feels all over the place, and I get what they were trying to do with Batman and Two-Face by having them both represent the Phantom of the book, though only Two-Face would take the name. Sounds great on paper, but the execution feels off. As we're talking about the characters, gonna be honest here, I'm just gonna do what I did with Lost Legends and talk about them all at once, because, to be honest, the characters in here come off as pretty one-dimensional, with barely any development. Bruce is a little better, but not to the point where I could say that's a saving grace. Laura is just a less interesting version of Christine Daae from the original story, minus a long complex history with the Phantom or Rao. And though she's not unlikable, I can't say she's interesting. And then there's Harvey, who despite being the Phantom in here, doesn't really have much going on for him outside doing the basic thing the Phantom is known for, teaching Laura his obsession with her, and killing several people in her name, in an attempt to, get her to love him or to just be closer to her.
Okay, I really can't take Harvey Dent and the Phantom connection too seriously. Other than appearance-wise, there is something about timing, okay? With the book and the musical and other adaptations, they actually shown that the Phantom had more time to manipulate and emotionally control Christine. With Laura and Harvey, it took like a mere second. or maybe minutes or so. Okay, 1 minute he was teaching her at a dance, and the second she took a glance, he vanished. No second reason or nothing. I mean, in the introduction, we got this letter, though it was barely brought up again. So maybe if we give more time to develop Harvey and Laura, maybe we could have more of an understanding. And what's the stakes here?
Hell, even before his face got burnt, we barely knew anything about him outside the fact that he was a famous dancer and that he was a bit vain. That's it. I'm not even sure why Grell chose Harvey to be the Phantom. Besides a scarred face, nothing about him screams the Phantom of the Opera. Wouldn't Basil Carlo make more sense? Before he became the shape-shifting blob monster, he started out as an actor who went crazy and donned the costume of his last role, attacking the film set. The role would have been perfect for him. Hell, there's a rat catcher in the original book who people claim to be the Phantom, so why not even bring in the rat catcher?
Seriously, so much potential.
And Alfred, well, he's just Alfred. As for the art, it is definitely the best part of the story with a lot of detail, and it has almost a fairy tale style to it. Grell focuses more on dancing instead of music in here, which I kind of get since, well, it is pretty hard to do this, and I doubt that he had the time to really figure out how he was going to incorporate music in a comic. But yeah, it looks really good. I will say, though, the color could have been better, since I think it's a bit dreary in some parts, and some of the detail in the Batcave.
Bruce, I know branding's important, but come on, dude.
The characters are bland, the pacing is off, and I would recommend the story to check out if you want to show people what not to do when it comes to combining characters and concepts like this.
Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and special thanks to Noanio for guest starring.
And thanks, Bizarro Guy, for having me on your video.
Shut up already. Damn.
We should do this sometime.
Yeah, let someone else be your